Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from the vice people, and there's vice for the viceless.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Today is Saturday, the
Yeah.
13th day of January 2018. And yesterday was 165 years since the arrival of the Chinese into Guyana, and they made a huge contribution to the development of the country. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and it's a holiday, of course, in the United States of America. Now, we saw also in the news that Trinidad and Tobago has been rejecting coconut water shipment from Guyana. We hope that the matter will be investigated thoroughly and we get to the truth of the matter. And we also are seeing that a delegation, I think Ras Leonsaw is going to speak more about this, a delegation went, people went on a trip to Guyana, people of Indian origin, and of course Clement Roy, who is has some Indian in him, he too said, look, he's going. And people are feeling, well, is the Indian government encouraging something here? Is they trying to influence things in Guyana? And then also, why did he leave? And then the sugar workers are left alone. He left Edgell and Gail Teixeira to head the protests in Berbice. You know, is he neglecting, is he really serious about representing the sugar workers? Then you have Trump making statements where people are 100% convinced that he is a racist. You know, he's coming out plainly now.
What do you want to say? Some shit.
Yeah, he called countries in Africa and Haiti, and then he's putting some restrictions on El Salvador.
Yes.
So people feel that CARICOM should make a statement. Okay. Everyone should get together. We don't want anybody backing down. Government of Guyana should make a statement about condemning what Trump said. Also, CARICOM should do so, and the Central American countries in America. The Latin countries should also speak out strongly. I know
one man has resigned yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it's a serious situation there. And with the sugar workers, Harman said only 10% of the sum needed, according to the Starbuck News, severance initially budgeted. So what is wrong? Why wasn't there more,
what really
more budgeted?
Trump does not like colored people?
Well, it doesn't seem so. Yeah. He seems that he wants to make America great. He wants to make America white America.
White America,
great.
yes.
That is what he wants to make it. That's what they're saying now.
So can you want black and Muslim so?
No, but we'll see what happens. Maybe he might lose the presidency before the year ends.
You sure?
You never can tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michael?
Russell,
yes.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, the Almighty Creator, grants us wisdom in our deliberations. Really and truly, there's so much happening, you don't know where to start.
Well, you better start from somewhere.
But I would like to say that I find it pretty irresponsible on the part of our Guyanese legislators to have left Parliament on Wednesday to go to India on a special jaunt, or whatever you want to call it. More so, it is an imbalance in terms of the invitation that was offered by the Indian government for 17 opposition MPs, 3 opposition supported mayors, and 3 backbenchers from the government side to attend this GOPIO conference in wherever it was, a global organization for people of Indian origin. I see nothing wrong with them promoting themselves. The only thing is that when we as Africans try to do the same thing, there's always this call of racism. Anyway, the Indian envoy has clashed with the senior government spokesman over the trip. I support Imran Khan because he has a right.
Why you support him?
Because he has a right as an individual, a citizen, to express his free views on his Facebook page, his personal views. He wasn't taking a government position. And I think he was, as a Guyanese citizen, he has a right to indicate. Now, anyone going to a conference where only the people of one race is promoting racism, straight up. How difficult is that for people to see? It is nothing but state-sponsored racism. And
what you said, repeat what you said just now?
Yeah.
It is anyone going to a conference for only the people of one race is promoting racism.
Okay. Not necessarily, not necessarily. Well, but we'll come to that later.
Well, the way it is done.
Who's the African Congress you had in Africa? You can't say that. You can't say that.
No, the way it is done by inviting 17 opposition MPs, 3 MPs from the government but backbenchers because they say they don't invite government ministers and these kinds of things, and 3 opposition aligned mayors. Guyana sent the largest delegation.
Bigger than the US?
Yeah. So the impression, the perception is that there is some move to influence something in Guyana. I would be surprised. In fact, I won't be surprised that when Charan Das probably come back, he might have a changed view towards the opposition members.
Okay.
The point is, at that forum, there is room for certain things to happen, and we in Guyana have got to really be alert as to outside interference in our sovereignty. Same thing with ExxonMobil. Now, more than that, the African Union has made a statement towards this shitful remark that Trump made. And even though CARICOM has not made a statement as yet, the mere fact that Trump specifically targeted Haitians and Africans, the African Union was right to make a statement. And it says that the African Union mission wishes to express its infuriation, disappointment, and outrage over the unfortunate comment made by Mr. Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, which remarks dishonor the celebrated American creed and respect for diversity and human dignity. While expressing our shock, dismay, and outrage, the African Union strongly believes that there's a huge misunderstanding of the African continent and its people by the current administration. And so there's a serious need for dialogue between the U.S. administration and the African countries. The other thing is that Monday is Martin Luther King's birthday, and that is a good time and a good platform on which to really talk about what is going on, not only in Africa or America, but right here in Guyana. But an African elder has said probably it's a good thing that Donald Trump has shown his true colors, you understand, because we can now deal with him as a racist, as a bigot, and rather than we pretend that he's not really doing any harm to the world. But more than that, on Thursday, I attended an event at Theatre Guild, and it was a discussion forum with internationally acclaimed Pavan Sukhdev. We own this thing, our natural capital in a resource-rich state. It was about what we own as against our green state development strategy. And they're saying that we got to be careful with our total interest in oil and gas at the expense of our agricultural and agro interests. But along the way, we'll talk about some other things. But those were the things that were really being addressed right now by some of our...
Sir, could you please introduce yourself, please? You turn around and run out right. Introduce yourself, please.
Good. Well, thanks for the opportunity, Mrs. Sharma.
Yes.
My name's Dr. Brian O'Toole from Nations.
Yes.
And we've got a couple of exciting teams here that we thought would be good to come in and showcase on your program.
Okay.
Would you like me to kind of introduce what it's all about?
Yes, go ahead, yes.
So we have a sister school in Canada.
Come. Please come together. Please come in your line, come. Can you just say all of them, come.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this is Anita, she's one of the coordinators.
Yes.
This is Sadia, is from Nations.
Yes.
And this is Jai, I'll introduce who each is.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sharma, we have a partnership with Nancy Campbell.
Yes.
That's one of the top schools in Canada. And this partnership's been going on for quite a long time.
Okay.
So now they've sent 10 of their 11th and 12th graders here for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And they're working with the Nation students. So in a moment, Anita and Sadia can say something about that.
So what can you intend to achieve in this?
Well, they can tell you about that.
Okay, good. Come, please go ahead.
Anita can maybe start.
Come on, Anita, come.
Hello. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So Nancy Campbell Academy is nice to meet you. I'm a past graduate of Nancy Campbell Academy. I graduated about 4 years ago.
Yes.
And so Nancy Campbell's been in partnership with Nations for a while now, but the formal partnership for 3 years has just started. And so a group of us have come to really learn with Nations students about how we can advance our communities by, as youth, coming together to serve. So one of the ways is through a series of dance workshops.
Okay.
So they're about social justice issues such as racism, drug abuse, gang violence, universal education for all, the equality of men and women. So these issues are in our communities, they're in our schools, they're in our families. And I know we say that we've come a long way, but there's a long way we have to go. And so these dances really open up the conversation, but now we're also in partnership with the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program to work with the younger generation, this age of adolescence, which is 11 to 14 years old. And as youth, being a role model that help them serve their communities, also be a part of these dance workshops, and really work towards unifying and building their communities. So Sadia is one of our dance captains that we've been working with.
Okay. Come on, Sadia.
So Sadia is from Nation.
She's
Yes.
from Nation.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. I'll just elaborate on what Anita said.
Okay.
They've been here for a week plus, and from what she said, it's not only about like spiritual empowerment, spiritual growth, touching on social issues, but building like various bonds, because we have gotten close. And I would like for us to have the youths come and be more hands-on, and we just want to like make a development and prove that youths can make a difference in society as a whole.
But maybe what we could mention just before perhaps we get on to Jai is that Nations has just been given a big project from USAID, and Sadia can maybe tell you a little bit about that and how it joins up.
Okay, so our USAID project, I'm very excited about it. We're getting to work in 2 areas, East Penitence and Sophia, and our aim there yet again is to make a difference, like work with the youths, and I think it's 25 from each area. And we're going to be working with them throughout the week. I think about probably 16 hours per week, and just like talk to them, deal with their issues. We intend on incorporating these new dances that we have learned and the spiritual empowerment.
So how do you gonna finance this operation? How you gonna finance it?
No, well, that's a grant from USAID.
Yes.
And then these friends
I just want to know that.
Sure, of course.
How did they choose the areas
USAID chose them. It's a project that's working in St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and Guyana, and they chose 5 areas. It's also
which is 5 years?
East Rhineville, Criverton, and I've forgotten the 5th one.
Why did you set choose these areas?
Need to ask USAID that they did. It's looking at high crime areas, so to say. So the idea is to try and do something to keep the kids out of crime. So we're starting it. It's going to be for 6 months, and we're very excited about it. But while we got the time, Jay Pizarro is here. He's from Bolivia, and he's got a very exciting program he'd like to talk about. Oh, before I forget, sorry, Jay, is that we have a show tonight at Giftland at 7. We have another one on Monday at Brickdam Secondary at 9 o'clock. Another one, and another one at School of Nations at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. And we look forward to getting all your cameras there, Mr. Sharma.
What do you like this salary? Come, forward, come. Come. Yes.
I'm Jay Pizarro, and I was a teacher, and I am a teacher at Nancy Campbell. Now, aside from that, I work at Jaguar. I'm one of the founding partners. And Jaguar is a company that works with artificial intelligence and augmented reality. And we work, we came here to talk about our latest project, and it's called The Virtuous Game. And we work trying to solve some social issues. So we're applying the latest in technology really to something that we've seen untouched, where technology is really not going there. So we're really just here to promote that. Now we partner up with School of Nations, and they're going to be representing us. And at this point, what we're looking for is really just kids, especially from the ages of 9 to 11, that they can come and we can actually, because we're based in Canada, it's a Canadian-based company. However, we went to Bolivia. I've been in Bolivia for the past 4 months, trying to find out actual problems for the provinces, from the cities, so we can actually have something that works. Now, in the company is one of the key members is Gordon Naylor. He actually has lived between 6 to 7 years in Guyana, and he's always been involved in the educational side, and he's a social entrepreneur. And on the other hand side is we have another partner who is Victoria Talawar. She is one of the 4 Canadian representatives as a Canadian research chair, and she does child psychology. So what we're doing is something that we believe is, we haven't seen anybody else do it before, and we're putting the best people that we can to do this. Now on the local level, we have Dr. Brian here. He has he has 40 years as an educational psychologist, and he's been, as he just mentioned, working with a bunch of...
You specialize in age 9 to 11, children ages 9 to 11.
9 to 11.
And they're specializing in
It's broader.
11 to 15, and then youth 15 to 30.
Okay.
So the youth age.
But Mr. Sharma, so on Monday at 5 o'clock,
Yes.
Jay will be having a presentation at Nations, and it's open to the public.
Okay.
So,
We ask the farmer to say something on behalf of this
okay.
organization.
We'd like to congratulate them as the Guyanese.
Yes.
We welcome every form of assistance, and they're very welcome to Guyana. But you know, sometimes we need to put things in context.
Okay.
And I want to raise a particular matter
Yes.
against this background of people coming to help.
Yes.
I listened to my friends before, and what is clear that society will not derive optimum benefit from all of these things and initiatives unless it is anchored on the three pillars to make a society viable and truly democratic. 1, the parliament, 2, the executive, and 3, judiciary.
Okay.
It's clear the latter is not functioning as it should. And there's a very bad case with the New Building Society that I would like to bring to the public's attention. Since 2007, certain persons were capriciously dismissed at the instance of we know who.
Yeah. You have to mention.
They appealed in
Yes.
2010.
Yes.
This is 2018, and the matter has not yet been resolved.
Okay.
One of the great prime ministers of England, Great Britain, William Ewart Gladstone, in the 19th century articulated something which has had universal currency.
Yes.
That is, justice delayed is justice denied.
That's right.
If people can't get redress in a timely manner, the whole society becomes dysfunctional.
Okay.
And you lead the way for anarchy
Okay.
and absolute nonsense.
Yes.
So as we welcome these friends,
Yes.
we need to get the public to raise their voice, and this is a very powerful station. You've been doing
Yes.
a monumental job for years
Yes.
on this new building society matter.
Yes.
You've had 3 decent Guyanese who are out in the cold for over 10 years. Well, it's more than 10 years, since
Yes.
2007. And I think it is something that I would like to persuade all of those writers in the papers,
Yes.
all those so-called public activists,
Yes.
to deal with this matter. It is absurd, it is obscene, it is unbelievable.
So what have the position with this matter?
Oh, there were 3.
Being
Well, it is consistently being put off
Yes.
at the behest of the judiciary.
Okay.
And I believe the time has come when the
Yes.
executive, even
Yes.
though we don't want to interfere
Yes.
with the judiciary,
Yes.
should
Yes.
make a pronouncement
Yes.
and
Yes.
urge the
Yes.
public to come on board, because all of these things we're talking about will be useless, almost meaningless, unless our judiciary is effective, efficient, and produces justice for all, if I may use the phrase of your station.
You're not interested, the lecturer, the farmer,
At UG, yes.
UGA, farmer, lecturer UGA.
We're all
Yes. What do you
colleagues.
like to see?
No,
On
well,
behalf of what?
No, definitely we welcome the intervention
Yes.
of these young people.
Yes.
And try, because we're finding it in Guyana right now,
Okay.
there's a lot of crime coming from
Okay.
the young people. So we welcome this development. But I wanted to ask in terms of the spiritual development, what are they going to do?
Anita's just the one to answer that.
Yes.
So as we speak, we actually, sorry, maybe
Yeah.
behind
Yes,
you.
go ahead, go ahead.
So as we speak, we actually
Yes.
have a group of 25 youth
Yes.
together. They've been together since last night for an intensive
Okay.
study of what it means to be
Yes.
a youth.
Yes.
What is this period that we so-call youth? That society says is one in which is troublesome,
Okay.
causes crime, is one in which we just have fun, and then later when we're parents and the responsibilities come, we can maybe show some responsibility. But we see the period of youth actually, what it really is a period to go serve, to make a contribution to society, to be an example to the younger generation, to be one in which actually is steeling themselves for a life of service. So we came together as youth and very quickly realized that what people believe youth are and what we sometimes believe we are is something that paralyzes us. It doesn't allow us to serve our communities and live up to our true potential. And so the qualities that we've been looking at are the ones that are inherent within our true nature. And then when we actually act on our true nature, we're able to use our time to not only study in school, use our intellectual side, but then also think, if I want to be a doctor, then I also have to be kind and generous and trustworthy. So we're thinking about how material and spiritual progress have to go hand in hand. And really in the last week, from the group that came from Canada, from Nancy Campbell, and the group that's at Nations, you could see that they're like-minded, and together they're able to see what it means to, as youth, establish the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program in Nations, in the communities that we've been working in. And really, we've already started working with the younger ones, and if you are at Nations, everyone can notice the difference, that these youth have so much power, and if it's directed towards the betterment of our community, then really you see.
Ross, what are some of your contributions?
This is awesome.
A lot of discussions.
This is awesome. Here why? I'm a very youth-oriented elder, you know, and what they have done is bring a kind of energy. I'm smiling all the time because the energy
I
is.
see you smiling. I know why you're smiling.
Because it is contagious. Their energy is, and this comes against a backdrop that Guyana is pursuing a Guyana Youth Program. The government is really pursuing a Guyana Youth Program, and in fact, they're going to be setting up the National Youth Corps. They're going for the National Service and thing. The National Youth Corps. So what the energy they're bringing to us right now, and Dr. Brian O'Toole, his initiative, is sorely needed. And right now, more attention has got to be paid to youth matters in Guyana. And in fact, I think the government has said that they're going to be taking all the funding that they've got in different youth programs and more putting into one solid grouping. So whatever it is, these young people have come and they've brought some good energy to Guyana, and I hope that we can flow on this energy vibe, because we need this energy in Guyana, this youth development and focus. One love. Keep it up, y'all.
Well, we not much time.
Maybe have a word from
Brother Mark.
Mark is
Brother Mark, how are you?
Happy New Year.
Yes,
Happy New Year. It's so good that I can shake your hand in front of the President, O'Toole here, and I wish you a Happy New Year. I called in last week and I said, doesn't Sharma look better this year than last year? And congratulations to you, Sankey, and my beloved. Did you hear what he called himself? He say him an elder Ute. I'm an elder Ute. I never heard such a thing, man. What a brilliant mind. But Sharma, congratulations on your radio license.
20 years, very much.
20 years is a long time. It's a long time, but God is good. He granted you the desire of your heart, and so I'm happy for you. I just suggest that you let Leon and our beloved Olympian right here, Sankey, let them go on the radio for 3 or 4 hours a day and just talk it up, man. Talk it up. You can do anything your heart desires. And Mr. O'Toole, he just always pulls me in. I believe for this year and all years, education today, a great future tomorrow. So this is wonderful to see these international ambassadors from a wonderful country. Remember, all Americans are thrilled to see great people come from great countries. Sometimes the great people come from suffering places. But that's what makes a champion. You're not racially put down by where you come from. It's about where we go. So O'Toole hooked me in, and you got to tell me, where are all these singers and people going to be tonight?
Giftland, 7 o'clock.
Wait a minute. What's going to happen at Giftland at 7 o'clock?
You'll be transformed into another world. Mr. Sharma's coming with all his cameras.
Well, tell me about the transformation. When I step in the Giftland Mall, what's the vibe, brother?
You're gonna, Charlie, you're gonna tell us.
Show us right now.
Would you show me? Oh, please. Would you show me? Come on. Come on. Show us.
Give you some space.
You have to give her a little bit of space.
All right.
Don't shy.
Him say, don't shy. Sister, stand strong. All right, look at that. Little American in Peru, right? All right, we good?
Okay, so this step dance. I'll just give you a quick overview of it. It's a dance about unity. So everyone's supposed to be like in sync, sharp movements, and just to show all in all how youths can come together and stay together and be united. So it goes something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So just imagine those small movements, but a bunch of young kids unified, and the song and the vibes you get from it is honestly amazing.
So are you excited about performing in Georgetown, Guyana?
No, I am a Guyanese.
Oh, you are? I thought you were Peruvian. Well, who's from Peru here?
Behind you. Oh, he's from Bolivia. He's from Bolivia.
That's Bolivia over there.
He's Bolivian, you're Peru.
I'm Persian.
It's a school of nations.
I'm confused. It's all right. Hey, I heard Sharma, C.N. Sharma, founder of this, I heard he was dancing just like that on New Year's Eve. Is that true?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Man, that's great. It's going to be a good New Year. But I just wanted to stop by and wish you Happy New Year. I'm going to be back the whole month of March. And if you still let me in the door, I'll come 4 in a row.
Oh, you can sit in the road the next couple of minutes, right?
But wait, you're not leaving right now.
No. Oh, sure I got to leave right now. I got to go help Donald Trump fix his problems.
We were just going to come to that, yes. We wanted to get your views on what this thing.
All right,
Give me your review, Donald Trump. Give me your review.
Hey, you take this seat and talk about it.
No, Mr. President.
Yes, no.
O'Toole, I'm not worthy to sit in your chair. Stay with me so we can get a little international profession. All right, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
About Trump.
All right, stand.
Mr. Sharma,
Okay.
you're still a giant.
Okay.
I'll
be always a giant.
Dr. Brian, what do you feel now about the fact that the VAT on education is
Persian.
You love
made
that?
life a lot easier for a lot of people.
You like that?
So is this good? Giflin Mall, 7 o'clock.
Gifland Mall, 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
In the food court.
Okay.
Great, thank you so much. Good to see you, Mark.
My good friend.
Maybe you can leave the times with the gang operators so they can, you can have it portrayed.
Thank you so much.
One love, Dr. O'Toole. Keep up the good activism and militancy.
You know, Leon, that's a great word. Activism.
Yes.
Getting something done, achieving.
Okay.
I think sometimes in our politics and in our governance,
Yes.
there's a lot of confusion that will come about what's achieved in the midst of the atmosphere. So let's just say this. For American news, world news, this has been a bad week, man.
Why?
This has been a bad week
Why?
because I've never heard a certain word that starts with an S and a T spoken so much on the American media. That's always a no-no for broadcasters. So here, let me say a couple things. And folks, okay, the camera's on the three of you wonderful guys right there. All right, bring it here. Folks, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. Yeah, folks. Here's the thing about journalism. You cannot say somebody said something unless you name your source.
Okay.
And so there's been no source named of President Trump saying people from certain countries are coming out of blank hole countries, all right?
Yes.
He has denied he said it. But we know in the media, if anyone is susceptible to possibly say it, could it be him? Yes or no, Leon?
Yes.
Absolutely. So I agree with you. And Leon asked me, what should Trump do?
Yeah.
So,
What should Trump do? He needs to have some guys around him.
Yes.
Any good leader. I mean, I have this for our television network. I have people around me talking to me about what I should say, what I shouldn't say, and how do you speak?
Yes.
And so, if you live in the Caribbean, are there some difficult places?
Yes.
You bet there are.
Okay.
And would you describe it the way Trump did? Possible. True or false? Possible. It's possible.
We just call it ghetto concepts.
Right. Ghetto language, man.
Concepts.
Ghetto labrish, man.
Okay.
So here's the point, Sharma. If he said it, then admit it.
Yes.
But it's unfair for the media, which is two-faced, which has a lot of skeletons in their closet. Don Lemon, CNN. Anderson Cooper, CNN.
Not lawyer.
Oh boy, he gone. Him gone. They got a lot of skeletons, so they got a lot of guts to accuse somebody of something where if we opened up their dirty laundry, oh God. But the point is, a president of the United States and any country should have dignity, be dignified in their words. And if he said it, admit it. But he should have said it this way.
Yeah.
There are people that live in countries where the government is tough.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get by each day.
Yeah.
But because the government's that way, there are wonderful people that live through hard times and pressure, and they're champions, and they can rise up from difficult circumstances and situations. So what do I think? If he said it, admit it. Don't say it anymore. Clean your speech up, be dignified, and affirm everyone, because every human's valuable. So what do you think, Sankey?
But there was a Democrat who was in the room who said he said it.
But what was the Democrat's name?
I can't remember.
See, I want to hear a source.
Mark?
Sir.
Yes. Young woman want to talk about water problems. Please, get some honey. Come. Tell me some of the problem you want.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharman.
Where you live? Give me.
I'm living at 32 Hatfield Street Lodge.
Yes.
I have a problem with GWI.
Yes.
I was an unmetered customer.
Yes.
Up to 2017 September. I received my water bill, and it marked November the 1st, 2017. The bill came for 332 units of water, which they say came up to 35,000. And I paid $20,000 on that bill and made a contract. And the remainder of it was 15,000 something, $15,662. To my surprise, I was told, nobody don't use that amount of water. Something has to be wrong, either with the pipes or the pipes or the the water meter. Anyhow, I went into them and I started to inquire. Lo and behold, after making an inquiry, a lady came up to me from some supervisor from the back.
Where did supervisor come from?
From Guyana. I was making inquiry because of the 35. She came up and said, I owe her, I owe Guyana $45,678 in back money. Here I am an unmetered customer. How could Guyana allow me to owe $45,000?
Tell me
without
something.
Cutting
How
this
large
water.
your building you got? How much bedroom you got? How much? What did I let you
It's one building.
Yes.
It's an upstairs and
How
downstairs.
much apartment is the building got?
It has upstairs and downstairs.
Several different people?
No, me, my grandson, my brother, and my eldest son.
What happened because you did use this water here?
I don't. They came after making the inquiry. I asked, please to allow me to y'all, because I paid $20,000. I am not sure I burned $20,000 water.
What last bill you
Look,
paid?
the last bill I paid, Mr. Sharma. It's in.
And the first bill you paid?
The first bill is the $30-something thousand.
So
I have it all here.
You're claiming it's a lot of money you're paying?
Yes, and then no, it's one building. That's my building.
So yes.
It's not shared with anyone else.
The pipes.
No, everybody has their own water meter.
So, but the pipe leaking out the water?
Yes, because it was fixed wrong, Mr. Sharma.
Oh, but that
came and
okay.
Yeah,
I do understand that now. Yes.
And they want me to pay for the wrong connection that they did.
Oh, I now understand. I now understand that.
Yes, but what is annoying me? They came and did this repairs to the pipe. And they say, look, if you can read, there was no fault found.
Okay.
They find no fault.
No fault.
So it was leaking, you said?
They had to do the whole system all over because it was done wrong and it was leaking.
That is their fault. That is their fault. Yes.
And I must pay for it.
Okay.
That is not fair, Mr.
Okay.
Talk to the doctor.
Hold on. Okay. Mr. Green, give us some review. Mr. Green, give us some review. Your review about this matter.
I've had experience
In
with
poor woman.
I've had experience
poor
with GWI. First of all, if what she says is so, it's a pretty high bill for a single family unit. The experience I've had with GWI suggests that the officials there, I find quite reasonable. and she needs to go in to have the matter sorted out.
Okay.
I find $40,000 extremely high for a single building. There were some problems GWI had in Lodge before meters. At my own place, I think we only got meters about 5 months now. And what we did, we paid an average sum per month. They've made adjustments, and I suggest she goes in back to see somebody senior and have the matter resolved. I'm pretty sure that can be resolved.
Okay.
Evidence is here.
Yes.
Evidence demands a verdict, doesn't it?
Yes.
We don't go to court just to have a conversation.
Yes, yes.
We go to court to get something done. This is a good grandma here, taking care of a grandson in a building.
I'm a sick woman, Mr. Sharma.
Okay.
I can see there's 3 clinics I'm in.
Okay.
I'm diabetic,
Okay.
hypertensive.
Yes.
I had amputation done on my left foot.
Okay.
Each day I'm suffering. I usually take insulin, and that costs money. Because when the health center don't have, I have to buy. You have to buy syringes. You have to buy. So where am I going to find? I already paid them $20,000. Now this present bill is saying $71,000.
It's right there.
Yeah.
$71,000 for grandma.
Definitely wrong. Something definitely wrong.
Yes,
Yeah.
because everybody's saying even the 32 units. Because watch here it is. In 2 days, they came.
Okay.
When they had a reading of 200, listen to me, 6.
Yeah.
332 was the first one, 600, and in the space of 2 days, here it is in writing, I use 600 plus 830 units. How could I use that amount of water?
And they said nothing
Is anybody in your area conducting a car wash?
Yeah.
Where I'm living, a car can't even reach where I am living.
Okay. Yeah.
Some pipe burst somewhere.
Okay.
They repaired it. When they repaired it, I got a reading.
Yes.
I asked the girl that read the meter, 15 units.
Okay.
You know, nothing was mentioned of that amount of units.
Yes.
So they just keep billing me for a day.
So who sent you here to me?
Mr. Sharma, I usually watch this program.
Okay.
And I say I would like to highlight this problem because probably it's not me alone suffering.
Okay.
True.
So if the people at Guyana need to be more, what I must say, efficient in the way they bill customers.
Okay.
Because we're
Okay.
all...
Sure, I will look into the matter. How would give this bill? Sankey, look at this bill and see Mr. Charles, if you can look at this matter.
And Sankey, who did you tell her to go see?
Yeah.
Who should she go see?
No, I said
To Richard Van Westchart.
Right.
No, I asked to see...
he will direct her to the right person.
Say it again.
Mr. Dr. Van Westchart, he's the CEO, but
that's
he will direct her to the person who can
Yeah.
answer that.
Yes.
Shake my hand one more time.
Yes.
I gotta go.
Yes.
Because there are people right now watching this program on Channel 9 on Atlantic Cable Network, and I'm Channel 5.
Yes.
So we're 24 hours a day, FFTV, morning inspiration for you here, but on Channel 5, I'm 24 hours. So I got to go take care of some work, and I think of the scripture in the Bible after this question about Trump.
Yes.
Be slow to speak. Be quick to listen. Be slow to anger. And sometimes if you're not slow to speak, don't speak. I'm done. Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good to see you. You look good in this color too.
Yes.
You do, man. That's very royal and presidential.
Works there too, right? Who should be able to
I appreciate you.
Yes, good. Thanks. Thanks, Gordon.
2018 is going to be a good year, Leon.
One love.
How you know that?
How do I know that?
Yes.
Because we're wiser, we're smarter, we're learning lessons, and we can work hard and do better. And I can go with Leon to the sip shop and have some gun oil. And I can have some whole wheat roti and vegetarian food, and I can be better.
Okay.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much for coming, right? Goodbye.
Yes, brethren. Hold it up.
Yes.
One love.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. Now we're going to take some calls and we'll see what the member of the public have to say. All right? Put this one here. Call you in here. Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I just want to comment on what the former mayor, Mr. Hannah Green, just said about the NDS matter.
Yes.
I think there isn't a single person who would disagree with him that justice delayed is justice denied.
Yes.
Now, you would have all read media reports that in 2007, the CEO and 2 managers were charged.
Okay, I know that.
Not a shred of evidence came out. I'll be as quick as possible.
Yes.
Not a shred of evidence what came out on these men, yet it lasted 4.5 years.
Okay, that's true.
Right? The ombudsman brought out that the Bank of Guyana had done an investigation and a report shortly after, and this report was docked. The ombudsman asked for the case to be reopened, right? One of the reasons for the case to be reopened is that all the persons, the perpetrators involved, they are not all under his jurisdiction. Okay. So reopening the case, right? Okay. You were able to get the other persons involved who did this to the 3 men.
Yes.
Up to now, the ombudsman report was sent to Parliament. 4 years ago, or just over 3 years ago, it has not been addressed.
I know the whole story.
Mr. Arjun sued, I won't be long, Mr. Chairman.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Sued NDS.
Yes.
Amazingly, that case lasted 6 long years.
Yes, right.
The judge, nothing came out of any wrongdoing that he did, right? The member was repaid. What came out in court is that the member was repaid by the board, although no fraud proven.
Yes.
All systems and procedures met. The judge ruled in Mr. Arjun's favor and awarded him his back pension with interest as well as severance and outstanding salaries due. No damages. But Mr. Arjun needs to move on. He's getting on in age. It's over 10 years. He decided to accept that. They went and they appealed that decision. Now, it went to the Court of Appeal. Justice Rishi Prasad said, pending the substantive appeal, that Mr. Arjun must be paid at least. That's what he awarded him. The $59 million is payment of 10 years pension that is due.
Yes.
He didn't even award future pensions, but that's irrelevant. Okay, the point is, this was done 3.5 weeks ago. NBS hasn't paid yet. Isn't that contempt of court? Now, for how long can a group of people be allowed to break the laws of a country and try to manipulate the justice system?
Thank you very much.
So I would like to join Mr. Green in also calling for the public. It needs a public outcry for this matter to be investigated in detail. For the case to be reopened as the ombudsman requested. He had a reason for doing it. Okay? And for justice to be served not only to Mr. Arjun, but to Ken Vincent, whose case has recently started. It was delayed for another month because you would see it in the media. Kisun Baldio migrated, and he did not. He couldn't follow through. But yet, why isn't he being paid legally due severance and other outstanding his pension contribution, etc.?
Okay, Mr. Green, what is summary of you in this matter?
It is beyond absurdity.
Yes.
And I can only ask that all decent-minded citizens, the media, all those who write about injustice, all those who knew what was wrong with the parking meters, this is something that hits at the fundamentals of our society. We're 3 Guyanese who did nothing wrong, have been persecuted. And it's something that I am concerned that all those soothsayers, all those people who talk, have been silent on this issue. I repeat what I said at the beginning. If your judiciary malfunctions for whatever reason, the whole system of democracy becomes a sham. And this is a classic case. You imagine something going on for over 10 years and you can't get justice? This is what Prime Minister Gladstone said when we talk about reform in England, when we're expanding the franchise, he made the comment that you cannot have a society that functions effectively unless you get justice. People can look to the judiciary for some kind of recompense and justice.
What can be done after this?
What can be done?
I would hope that those people listening, the editors of all the media, this station must carry on the campaign, make it a campaign, make it a crusade. This has nothing to do with Arjun and Vincent and the others. This has to do with common justice.
Yeah. We need to
One last thing, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Thank you so very, very much, Mr. Green. You are so right.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, I recall the former Minister Gail Teixeira, she was shouting to the public, you cannot take away pension rights. Why doesn't she ask, why is Mr. Arjun pension rights has been taken away for 10 years? No benefits, no pension. He has an impeccable 30-year record. 6 months before retirement. Secondly, if an ombudsman, that is one of the highest positions in this country, after a 9-month investigation, discovered that the DPP deliberately, maliciously, wrongfully charged the 3 top officers.
That's right.
Of the 3rd largest financial institution. Why is the DPP still there and there has been no investigation? Why are the other perpetrators? When the members of NBS called for a special meeting in September 2007, right? They were going to vote. The meeting was adjourned. And next thing you know what? An amendment was made to the NBS Act to make it impossible for members to ever call a special meeting in case of wrongdoing. And this is the financial institution. It's something.
She's very right.
Yes.
I know what is irksome about this. Yes. You have in our society people who have committed criminal things. Yes. The previous government and others, and they're still walking free. And these, to the best of my knowledge, these are 3 decent Guyanese. All they sought to do was to carry out the law of the institution that they belong to, and they were not prepared to be pressured by political and other forces to do something that's clearly wrong and to compromise the finances of the people.
How long was Sergeant when the kids was dealing? How many years?
2007.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is almost beyond belief. And I'm hoping that this media, perhaps the 3 gentlemen should call a press conference, get the editors involved, make this a crusade. Because this might be the tip of the iceberg. You see, the present government is doing its best in the circumstances. But the president himself is a very proper person. And he has not, as far as I know, interfered with the judiciary, nor the parliament as such. We have a situation on our hands where the ombudsman was established years ago as the institution to deal with persons who perceive or believe that some injustice has been done to them. That ombudsman report, as far as I know, should be held sacrosanct. And the government, the judiciary should respect it. I don't know why this is still happening.
What's the similar situation with Freddie Kissoon? I think a judgment was handed down in his favor regarding his tenure at UG. And he got to get some back pay to or some overtime.
Something is very wrong.
So Freddie Kissoon has also got a case that is bubbling that needs redress also.
Something is, and I hope all those who write will talk about this.
Oh, there's so many cases out there. I've got a case with my brother who died in 2011. This is 2018 now, and what is going on? I mean, it is still the procedural matters. They're still instead of getting into the substantive issue, there's this delay. And we need to have some reform in the judiciary so things can be handled.
I have a case where I have a personal matter, I don't want to raise it, where the judge simply ignored the case, put the case back, end of story. No reason given. Something's wrong with our judiciary. very, very wrong.
How can we solve it?
Look at my case, my matter.
Exactly.
With the musician. 10 years, it takes 10 years.
We have to
20
raise
20 years, 20 years.
we have to raise the
20 years,
ante,
20 years.
get civil society involved, whatever's left of it,
20 years.
and say this is enough.
Okay. Enough is enough. Call you in hello.
Hi, Cian. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Cian.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I must say that we are so glad to have him on the program. I must say congratulations to the president for those two Boston Barbies yesterday.
Yes.
However, two quick points for Mr. Green as a former prime minister and as a mayor.
Yes.
Two quick points. Mr. Mayor, Mr. former mayor, did you, as a senior member of the government, did you aware or did you think that the cabinet give support to Imran Khan to make those offensive remarks in relation to the trip?
You know what? Let me see this here.
As you know, I'm technically retired.
Okay.
I am not a member of the cabinet. But from what I've heard,
it's private.
It seemed to me that there is something amiss with the way this matter was handled by the Indian High Commission. It's not the first time. When I was in government, the Indian High Commission went out of their way to offer scholarships. They were very clear of persons who are Indian. And we raised an objection. They shifted their position and amended their advertisement so that somebody like my wife, who's half Indian, half black, could apply. But they were going along the merry road that only Indians, which is divisive, is unfortunate, and creates a condition in this country which we're trying to overcome. Since 1956, we had this problem. And no High Commission, no embassy should in any way do anything to foster, promote, and encourage what perhaps is a form of racism.
Okay, so you are saying that there should be Indians from the government and the coalition should be there?
Where?
On that trip today. India,
I don't know what's the utility of the
Mr.
trip.
Sharma should be there.
I don't know what's the utility of, nor the value of the trip. All I'm saying, if you have a situation where you have 70 members for one political group and 3 from another, something is wrong. There's no balance. And further, if you saying that there's a conference,
the Haitian Caribbean people shithole.
Yes.
That's another story.
Yes, that's another story.
People of African ancestry.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in promoting a particular ethnic group.
Yes.
It is the way it is done.
Yes.
Because my belief, my philosophy is that each group, Indian, Chinese, Afro, must be able to promote their own welfare with pride. And that gives them the strength to be part of a cohesive society.
That's true.
I can't love Sharma unless I love myself, and vice versa. So the credentials for a good society is each group, whether it be ethnic or religious, must develop a sense of pride in who they are and what they are, and then give them the intellectual vigor to work with others in a society where there's harmony, there's peace, and there's love.
Let me talk with the sugar workers now. It's the next, let me tell before the other take some more calls. Call you in. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sankey and Mr.
Good afternoon. Can you speak up?
Yes, I'm speaking up.
Yes.
I want to ask an issue here. I was hearing the guy from England come back to investigate this, and it's kind of corruption of...
Sorry, could you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
A little louder.
Yes. I said I heard a young man from England came back to investigate this corruption. And I heard his pointed out. If you have a money laundering bill to all the banks and people in Guyana...
Please put your mic close to your mouth, please. Please.
Sorry?
Yeah,
we're not hearing you, my dear.
You hear me now?
Yes, now hearing.
Good. I said,
yes.
If I am a bank holder,
okay, now hearing.
Ask me for information. They want to know where I get all the money, where my money is gone.
Okay.
Why now you justice denied to one set of section of the people? Then you're saying only the smart people must answer to the relevant authority. And when they ask people for information, They say they can't find it.
Ask for the information.
So
Who?
what they're saying with the money laundering bill and the bank credit.
Okay, yes.
Right, and the people say they can't find it, and they say, I surely have asked you for your statement. They would give it up to the relevant authority. What I'm saying here, what goes to one should have goes to all. You can't give Miss Hamid the letter and then give you the sweet side of it.
Okay.
This is not fair. Does it sound fair?
Yes.
I want to Miss Hamid.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hello, Carlioni. Hello. Hello, Carlioni. Hello. 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 Go ahead, please, Mr. Green. Go ahead.
Oh, you got 2 calls.
No, I'm just saying that it's good that this program is on.
Yes.
And I repeat myself, let's hope people will be energized. People talk about justice all the time.
Okay.
But some of them remain silent.
Yeah, justice deny. Yes. Call you in. Hello. Hello.
Sharma.
Yes.
You was a head of the policing group in this country.
That's right. Yes.
Right? I want your take on this.
Yes.
You served a very long time. You held the force.
About 20 years.
How would you treat that policeman who smuggled those whiskey?
Get jail.
Him and the reputation.
Get sent to prison.
Now.
You should jail him. Call you. Hello.
Sharma, the man got to go through due process. You can't just jail him just like that.
No. There's a government thing.
Why they can't prepare the case?
The SWAT commander say beg a drop from the minibus driver.
Nobody said something different before.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Dahil mo big now to the Delhi boys.
Yes. Call you. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Green. Hello, Mr. Green.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes.
Y'all destroy Guyana. You shouldn't talk.
What's that?
Y'all wasting time. Y'all destroy Guyana, and then you come in and you covering up. If you have water problem, the government gonna look after you. And you see that poor woman was came with the water problem. The government wouldn't look after she poor. They mean got Indian and Negro in it. It got that you know well. No.
You can't speak out loud. I can't hear you.
We can't hear you properly.
We can't hear you properly. Okay.
Call another line.
Yeah, call some other line. I don't know. The man with the whiskey, he was sent in prison. He's in charge of security. He was in charge of security in the country. How come he get involved with whiskey?
He was securing the whiskey.
Whiskey.
He's whisking the whiskey.
Yeah, call you on the hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes.
Yeah, good afternoon to you on the panel.
Yes.
I want you to listen to me clearly,
yes.
right?
We're
the
listening.
President of this country has a big problem, understand?
What problem are you talking about?
Here's the problem.
Yes.
The finance minister
yes.
and the attorney general. Something needs to be done with those two persons. Or else this government will end up out of power. I'm telling you all today, right? The finance minister, he's talking about what he can do with this oil money, and he's saying that they're going to do certain things.
Which finance minister talking about? Who is the finance minister talking about?
Before he could make such declarations.
No, hold on.
He don't own this country.
Hold on, stick up it. Who is the finance minister you're talking about?
Pardon me?
Finance minister you're talking about?
Senior or junior?
Senior Minister of Finance, Mr. Jordan, he was on television the other night saying that how we going to use this money and we can do all of that. This thing is serious. He has to consult with the people before he could make those kind of decisions.
Okay.
This is not his money, and the president needs to wake up, or else he will find himself out of power. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Call your near. Hello? Call your name. Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You got to speak a loud. Can't hear you.
Mr. Sharma, I just have one question.
She has another line.
Can you speak up? Speak up.
Yes.
I have a question. I want to know if we have incompetent in this country.
Yes. What?
We are country of ourselves.
Speak directly into the phone. We can't hear you.
Yeah, now you're talking, yes.
Talk louder.
We are an independent country.
Yes.
We need to use our liars right here because we have better liars than what we hire. We have Walton, we have Nigel Hughes, we have Glenn Hanuman, we have a lot of liars here. They have good liars, so we don't need to go and hire liars. But Champ, I would like to say, I think Mr. Basavari might came of himself, so he don't want to hire a liar here. If he was a good liar, he wouldn't have gone hire a liar. He would have fake liar. Because he has a liar. He not competent to do that. He's not fit to properly and all. He can't fight it. So he could have get Mr. Walter or Mr. Nigel. That's all he can do. He can't do what Attorney General.
Okay, ma'am. The phone got some interrupt in the ear, on the ear. Call you in the ear. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharman.
Good afternoon, yes.
Anil?
Yes.
I think we have a problem with the institutions in this country.
Yes.
You could imagine a civil matter taking 15 years to conclude.
Yes.
You carry a person to court that has illegally occupied your property.
Yes.
And you carry the person to court, and the judge keep putting out the case because the defense lawyer turn up and ask for time to file this, time to file that, and every time they turn up, it's time to file something. And the matter takes 15 years to conclude. The other thing is that institutions in this country are falling down because if you got a judge,
who case you talking about? Who case you talking about? Who case you talking about? Who case you talking about?
What am I speaking about?
Who case you talking about?
What institution I'm talking about?
Yes.
I'm talking about the judicial institutions. I GWI too. GWI had a man in front of my yard leaking for over a month.
Okay.
And it took me 25 cars at GWI. I visited the GWI to see the man and talk to the commercial manager, the customer service manager, right? And even then, they did not come and fix it.
Okay.
Only after I saw the men on the road fixing something else, and I asked them about coming.
Yes.
Then they come and fix it.
Okay then.
This pipe that was broken in front of me.
Okay.
So I'm saying institutions, GWI has a management problem. Institutions in this country, they got to be strengthened. That's the only way things will go better in this country. Institutions.
Right.
Judiciary.
Yes.
Everybody got to be strong. And if you got strong people in those in those institutions, then we country ain't no way.
Okay then. Thank you very much. Call you. Hello? Hello?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, yes, sir.
Mr. Green and the other, Mr. Fowler, thank you. Mr. Green, you as Prime Minister, what's the purpose of a Prime Minister? Because I see we got a Prime Minister here, but Mr. Harmon do governance. So I would like to know what's the purpose of our Prime Minister with the big fancy vehicle driving around. The guy is right. This whole country going down, I don't understand. The thing about it is that every institution falling down. So, Mr. Green, you was Prime Minister. Explain what was your function and tell me if it's similar to what we have in here. Thank you.
Yes.
Every Prime Minister has to function within the context of what the President wants and the environment in which he's operating.
Okay.
Legally, constitutionally, the Prime Minister is the first Vice President.
Okay.
And whenever the President is out of the jurisdiction, he performs the function of President.
As a President.
A Prime Minister is assigned particular subjects by the President or the Cabinet, or in this case, the coalition.
Okay.
That then defines his area of responsibility ministerially.
Yes.
Some Prime Ministers carry heavy duties, others carry political duties. That depends, as in our case, we have a coalition of 5 parties.
Yes.
And therefore it's not a simple matter. This is a matter threshed out between the parties, WPA, the AFC, the PNC, Justice for All. And what we have now is the characteristic of a special coalition. Mr. Granger said coalition governments are here to stay.
Yes.
That has its own challenges, its own difficulties. With a single party government, you can move 6 feet in 6 seconds. A coalition you have to consult, and therefore you can't move as quickly as you would like. And that's the constraint Mr. Granger faces, and that's the difficulty citizens ought to appreciate that we face.
Okay. What is the problem with the Prime Minister? How the Prime Minister should be functioning? They can't just have the Prime Minister.
But I said it depends on the arrangement between the President and the Cabinet and the political parties.
Okay.
This Prime Minister, I think, has some important subjects. He has information and something else. He has NCN and other duties.
Yes.
So, as I said, it depends. When I was Prime Minister, I had a lot of subjects.
Okay. But the Cummingsborough Accord that was signed between AFC and APNU defines certain parameters.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The Cummingsborough Accord has sort of tied the feet of the president.
Yeah.
But that is the way we're going. Yes. That is the way we want to preserve a new type of democracy. When you had the PPP alone and the PNC alone, the president had a great deal of flexibility and nimbleness, which this president hasn't got.
Yes.
So you're saying that President Granger, within the context of his constraints, is doing a pretty good job of keeping the coalition together?
Absolutely. The fact that he's kept the coalition together is a credit to this great man.
Okay. Calling in the yellow. Hello? Calling in the yellow.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon.
I want to ask you about this whiskey.
Yes.
So if he accept that he is the owner of the whiskey,
yes.
All of a sudden now he switched the story and said he's the driver.
But he was drunk or something.
Huh?
He didn't come to whiskey.
No, he can't be drunk and then say something. He should have been on a laptop, and both of them should have been drilled separately. Because I think the investigation should be going way. Because you can't say I own it, and next word they're telling me, not me own them no more.
Okay. All I was saying,
this corruption to the highest. Yeah. And the man was saying the truth.
The papers have said there's a report.
Corrupt.
Let's wait on the report.
Yeah, you know, the report in newspaper says.
Don't let's condemn anybody before the time.
No, he's not condemning anybody. But he says 1 minute he says his own, and next minute he says is a driver own.
No, they said it was
if me and you were there, it's
supposed to be the policeman.
Yeah, but the story. Yeah, but they're supposed to do a thorough investigation.
When the whiskey go far?
You can't get
for the
police, yes.
For the police party, Christmas party.
In other countries,
police party.
Yes.
Yeah, police party.
Because
all that may be mitigating circumstances. I don't know. We need to hear the whole story.
But the commissioner said no. The commissioner said no. He
didn't have the stamp on it.
The commissioner said he didn't order any whiskey.
He was smuggling. And he shouldn't be arrested. I don't know. Because he's alive.
He was going to jail.
Maybe he got friends in high places.
Well, that's what the commissioner said. He said that he have 12 cars, and all was saying to let the man go. So therefore, it's still corruption in the highest.
Okay.
And I think the institution.
Yeah.
So with the DPP, this thing is too long because you're resting there. Some case supposed to be fire priority investigation to be done fast.
Yeah, there was a newspaper.
To prosecute us early. But all this massive corruption, money laundering business go down, and nobody get in jail until now. I don't hear the DPP and the police no advice. Somebody need to get up on their ass and
start. You know, we talked about judiciary.
Yes, excuse me.
Thank you very much.
But if you look at this country for the past 2-3 years, and we've had no high-profile person behind bars.
That's right.
It's either credit to our super democracy or a stain on the effectiveness of the police and the judiciary. You take your pick.
More like a stain on them, because Dr. Sam Sittleton, the Irish expert who has been coming to deal with this the financial matters, he expressed serious concern over the fact that a lot of the cases have not seen the light of day and fully completed. And he's worried because he says that there's serious diversion with 3 sections of the DPP, the PLA, and some other area that they can't see eye to eye on going forward. So Dr. Sam Sittleton has serious concerns.
The answer is to adopt the American system.
Which is?
Which is, once the government goes in office, all the senior officers stand in resignation. We have kept a very proper system where a lot of people who were involved in rascality and shady business are still in place. You had a case of the man at the office of the president. So that, you know, we're trying to preserve the aura and image of democracy and justice and that sort of thing. but it is slowing things down. And maybe I'm from the old school. I would just dispense with justice in a swifter manner.
Well, I think it's a conflict of interest that the DPP, Shalima Haq, who herself is involved in this Prattville 2 case.
Which one?
The DPP, Shalima Haq.
Okay.
She has also been fingered in the Prattville 2 case, but the files have got to go to her office to decide who must get charged or not.
Exactly.
Can she decide on herself being charged?
Okay.
And that's our problem. Our problem in Guyana is there's too much incestuous relationship within government offices.
I like that word.
Yeah, it is very incestuous. And not only that, I think there's a situation also where if I rat out on you, you're going to rat out on him and him because of the linkages, within corruption. And a lot of people are covering for other people. So you can't touch big ones because there's a lot of people involved in corrupt activities in this country. A lot of big ones who have got influential offices.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This guy Suko thing where Kamal Chan got these workers protesting and doing a set of stupidness. When the police was beating you and the sugar workers over the river, so was the time for Kamal Chan come out and have them protesting and demand them what they want. But he didn't allow them for demand what they want because he was a member of what was going on. So he got time with it. So now he got time with it because they're trying to bring this government down and they're going to do anything in the power to get this government down. Second thing is this. The judiciary needs to reform and say this thing over and over again. Certain people go to jail less than what's going on. And some people ain't got no way. And the man want to know why the white man come back. When the white man left, we arrest them. So we come back, it's to jail them. This is why the white man come back, it's to put them in jail. So
they frighten the white man.
They could put the execution for the white man, but they can't touch it. You understand? Because they're frightened for go to jail. Why you feel a run for go to India? They try to see they could seek political asylum in India. Instead of going there for bed for.
Thank you,
I will know the hammer coming out on them. You understand? You see the people reject Roy. You say you're not the Indian, you got no ancestry, you got to go to Africa. You come from India, you get to India looking for ancestor. He ancestry there in Africa. He there for chauvinist.
You know, we have a group of people called Douglas. Like they say, you know when. And this is on a lighter note, when there was talk in the 50s and the 60s, when the PP had ramped up this race thing, there was a talk to divide Guyana into racial zones.
Yes, that's right. I know that. I heard about that.
And Burnham said, well, look, what you going to do with the Douglas?
Yes. And what was the answer to that?
There was no answer.
No answer.
My mother has, my wife, father's Indian ancestry. Her mother's African ancestry. So if you divide the country on racial lines, where is she going to live?
Free zone. A free zone.
Huh?
A different zone. But those who want to live in thing, you put them in there, and those who want to mix with everybody, you have a different zone.
But that will divide families.
Mr. Green, when I was protesting with the sugar workers, they locked me up. The police arrested me and locked me up.
And Kamal Chan didn't say a word.
Kamal Chan said nothing.
You were harassed.
Yes.
And Kamal Chan had nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
But the Kamal Chan thing is sad. Because as my good friend Sankis observed, the sugar workers, for political reasons, have been well paid over the years. Some cane cutters earn as much as senior public servants.
Yeah, when I started out at UG, they were cane cutter was earning more than what I got as a lecturer.
Exactly.
But they were doing more work.
Physical and mental work are two different things.
No.
They would claim that they were doing more strenuous work, more laborious work.
In every society, you have categories which deal with mental and physical effort. You reward people basically for their mental acuity, their studies, and the capacity to deliver and improve the scientific and cultural conditions of a society.
Exactly. The CEO wouldn't get the same pay as the laborer.
Hello?
Hello? Or there will be no incentives for people to study.
Mr. Green.
Sir.
Since you was a government official, you have done nothing wrong?
I'm not hearing you. What are you saying?
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Did he do nothing wrong with the government official?
What's that?
Did he do anything wrong?
What's he saying?
I don't know what he's saying.
If he did anything wrong as a government official.
What's the question? We're not hearing you clearly.
What if he did anything wrong with it?
No, man, he dark barking and all kind of things barking.
We hear you.
We can't hear you.
We hear your dog or not you.
Yes.
He sure wasn't
Yes,
he?
come here. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Sharma.
Yes.
You know what I know?
Yes.
You
What
know
about
how
them
to
now?
get you the license.
Yes.
Rastaman there.
Yes.
Campaign hard, it takes get a pig car to plan some proper high grade. You can't get a. But the Sanky guy, you back easy job at UG. Mr. Good, he getting a nice bread every month. Rastaman, what you say?
What I get it from UG?
No, Rastaman, I get 2 acre land. Rastaman, I cultivate. You gotta get back your job. Remember now, everybody getting things. It's only Sharma getting and Green getting, nobody else.
Sharma just got radio 105.1 FM. Is that your radio signal?
Yes,
105.5.
yes, that's right.
My friend,
105.1 FM.
Mr. Sharma has worked assiduously, with sincerity, with courage, to get whatever he has. And nobody can deny, I say in his presence, nobody can deny Mr. Sharma's initiative, perspicacity, and a willingness to take account of the existing environment, and that is what you reward people for. And nobody can deny Sian Sharma that. Whatever you may think of him, can't deny him that fact.
So when 105.1 FM coming on stream?
Next 2 months.
Next 2 months?
2 months.
Don't rush the thing.
It takes time.
Don't rush it.
Got a good planning, proper planning.
I listen to some radio programs, and the key thing about a good radio program is planning, doing research, and having a set of information in stock so that you can run for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. You don't want, as I hear some stations, they just bring on music because the anchor hasn't got information.
It's vacuous. You know?
So I expect CN will get the best brains to put together to bring a new dimension to radio.
That's how I'm going to do that.
I think Komal Chan should go to jail. Komal Chan is a wicked man. Komal Chan, he never represented the Cane court to them. He always, now he's trying to represent people. Look how much like you get. Komal Chan is a wicked man. When the people went in difficulty, he never helped them. Now he helping them. But that's one good you do. But then the other thing.
Okay then.
The bottom line is, for several years, beginning from 1969, the PP, GAU, have used the sugar workers as a political tool.
That's right.
We must remember that when we had the problems with the oil crisis, Guyana got an excellent price for shipments of sugar, which would have completely turned our economy around. GAU and the PP then told the sugar workers to strike.
Born the race.
So as to frustrate that effort. That we have not yet recovered from that.
Okay.
And that's because they weren't concerned with sugar workers getting more money, you know.
Yes.
They were concerned with frustrating the government and ensuring that the money we will earn couldn't go into other sectors, because what they said then, that every dollar extra you get for the sugar market should go straight to sugar workers. A complete absurdity. You have the teachers, you have the nurses, you have the infrastructure, you have hospitals to build. So any money that a government gets, as we should get from oil, has to be spread across the board so that the general population benefits and not go to one set of workers.
Okay. Caller, you're here. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, yes.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I got a matter in the court 6 years now.
Yes.
My son get electrocuted in Craig.
Yes.
And he got to the High Court and they put it out and said, like, settle, let it come together and settle. And every time I lie,
who said the settlement? Who said the man? Who said the man?
And the lady turn up, the liar is not there. The liar always busy.
Who you lie?
Up to now, she never get back nothing.
And that
was
who's the liar? Who's the liar?
For most children. That woman stand all burial expense, everything, and never get a cent, never get a hearing yet from the court. All they said, settle it out the court, and that was it. Nothing more.
Okay.
I think something's wrong with our courts. Definitely. You have too many people in remand, for example.
Yeah. Colin, hello.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am very concerned
yes.
with this kind of misconception that's going on within the force.
Raise his voice.
Now, under the police disciplinary, no junior rank cannot arrest a senior rank for matters that fall under the 1701 offenses, which is disciplinary offenses.
Yes.
This misconception where senior officers tell themselves that the same privilege that they enjoy under the Disciplinary Act 1701, that they enjoy the same privilege under 801 and 802, which is criminal offenses. When it comes to criminal offenses, any junior rank can arrest even the commissioner of police. The only person that no policeman, junior policeman cannot arrest is the president who enjoy that immunity.
Okay.
So the government must make this I want the government to make this very clear within the police force that when it comes to criminal offense, there is no rank structure. I can remember a group of policemen complained to me about a certain senior officer. He used to be with a businessman doing smuggling, and when the junior rank stopped the patrol, he would come out and use his office and abuse the junior rank.
Okay.
The same senior officer now retired, but a junior rank can arrest if a junior rank pass a senior officer breaking a man's shop.
Okay.
You telling me that he cannot be arrested by a junior rank?
Yeah.
But this misconception is going on within the police force that they need to clear this thing up.
It's an important
misconception. It's all my contribution.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It's an important point, but it has to do with functional authority. It's not an easy one.
No, if a guy robbing a bank and he's an inspector, you arrest him. You can't. No question of rank about that.
Call your name.
Hello? The Gori can't see the government.
You see? No, but there was a story that in the papers that how this guy Dookie got his elevation first. That Green, the Commissioner Henry Green, had sent him on a course in the army.
Yes.
And then too he was being. I don't know if he's related to Dookie, who was a close friend of Henry Green, who he went to school with. So I don't know if he's that. So there's some connection. So we will see what happens with this case. Everyone is looking to see the justice is.
So what you talking about the whiskey case?
Yeah, the same guy was involved. Yes. His name is Dookie.
You went to school with Henry?
Henry, I taught Henry at school.
Well, Henry and I were in the same class for 5 years. Yes. Henry Green. We used to call him Bantu, a very African name because he was so African.
Okay.
Yeah, good guy back in school, table tennis champion. And he was in the cadets, QC cadets. Yeah.
He was a churchman.
And he was also
at
that
time.
Call your name. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Chapman.
Good afternoon.
I'm trying to get the comment about the previous caller did just from concerning police.
Yes.
Yeah. What I'm trying to explain to that, so there is something that the person and individual that caught, is something that he don't understand.
What you don't understand?
He's saying that, right? Is that the corruption there within the police department, anybody could investigate anybody. Anybody could arrest anybody. They were signed by the government. They weren't signed by this one, the one, or another. They're to serve and protect. If there is a corruption between the system, he has all rights. Not because you are a sergeant at the station, because you got 5 stripes or you got a bigger position than the other one. This is not how it runs in the department. Why you think in America that they have CID and all these individual different inspectors who could? Why you think they are there? They are there to look for corruption, and these are what happened with these high-ranking police departments. You see, the other day the one with the whole busload of rum because he has a position. He thinks that he could get away with it. It's a regular, ordinary citizen who arrested him.
That's right.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's a regular citizen. And if they aren't there to do their job, then may as well send them home because they're just wasting time.
That policeman should get a
You
promotion
understand?
on the
And
spot
because
promotion.
you're there, you big, you could say, well, you know what? Hello, young man, you can't tell me what to do. This is not how it works. It is for each, you're there to serve the public, each and every individually. Every single body that's here in the public, you're there to serve each and every one of them equally. You will not, that because you got 2 stripes, 3 stripes, because you're wearing brown clothes or blue clothes or yellow clothes or whatever you is, or you got gun and he not got gun. You're there to serve the people. The government, it's not nobody put you there. The president put you there.
Okay.
He put you there for a purpose.
Okay.
It's a serve and protect.
Okay.
It's like he is the husband or the father for, so he's looking after the children. It's like we break it down small to make it better. Okay. You're there to represent. Okay. Not to take, you know, I wouldn't say police are tech by. I wouldn't want to go there and go and talk these things about police saying by. Because which the whole Guyana know that. You understand? You're Rastaman, you know what I'm about. Yes. You know that. The whole of Guyana know that. You understand? But like I said, I am not pinpointing. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. But you're there to serve and respect.
Okay.
I understand what I'm saying? Thank you very much and have a pleasure. Mr. Green, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
Peace be unto you.
Call on your name. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
I think Guyana is heading for anarchy.
Why you say that, man?
Because the institutions are failing people.
Okay.
And when you go to the judiciary, you're not getting justice. So therefore, if the institutions continue to fail, people will take matters into their own hand rather than going to the court.
Well, no, they can't take matters into their own hand.
Well, the judiciary, if they're not functioning, what is left? What is left for people to do? Not take matters into their own hand?
Yes.
If you go to court and you can't get justice, where you gonna go? How you gonna get justice?
It's not right to have handled that. To take the matter in your own. No.
I
don't agree with that.
I don't think we had anarchy.
If institutions fall down,
you get a lot of
take matters into their own hand.
Yes.
Heading for anarchy, we gotta get the institutions functioning.
My friend, in spite of what we said on this program and what I said, the institutions exist for people to press for justice.
Yes.
Right.
There's a free media. There is this TV station, for example. There are institutions, there's the churches, the mosques, the temples. They all can raise their voices without inhibition to press the government and the agencies to make changes.
So what Mr. Kisung got to do now? What Mr. Kisung got to do now? The institutions are failing him.
Which Kisung?
I don't know which Kisung. Which Kisung you're talking about?
They're from New Building Society.
Okay.
Oh.
What he got to do? What he got to do to get justice?
Well,
after all them years, he's still looking for justice.
We raised it here today,
failed him.
and let us hope people like you will write letters, will come out when there's a chance to demonstrate, and let the powers that be know we are concerned about the judiciary.
The powers that be is quite aware that the institutions are failing.
Yes.
Look at this matter. This matter. This matter concerning Jagdeo one term.
Yes.
They appeal this matter. This matter in the court yet? If they appeal the Chief Justice decision that Jagdeo could get a third term, they appeal the matter. Until now, this is 2018. Just now is elections again.
Okay.
The matter in court yet? The matter in come to the fore yet?
Okay.
So I'm saying, if you don't have strong institutions in a country, the country can't go right. You're gonna get anarchy, and this is what we're heading for. If they gotta get the powers that be has to get institutions functioning. If they put one person in power and one person in position and they're not functioning properly, they gotta move on to somebody else. Right?
Okay.
It's got to move on.
Yes.
Not because the person is a Dyad party supporter, you're going to keep you in one position because he's a Dyad party supporter. You got to get somebody else.
Okay.
Right? So therefore, as for the DPP, I think the DPP should be moved. They have grounds in which to move her.
Why think she's removed? Why think so?
Because she is conflict of interest.
Okay.
She is conflict of interest. All those people who was in charge and they're not being charged, who was corrupt in the past administration, they're not being charged. She is preventing them from being charged.
She not found guilty yet.
And a whole set of loopholes.
No, she not found guilty. She not found guilty.
What
I'm saying, all those people from the previous administration that is not being charged.
Okay.
And they're not being charged because of her finding loopholes to prevent them from getting charged. So I'm saying that she's conflict of interest. She has to be moved.
Okay.
And there must be ways and means to move her. I think that that the person who has the power to find the ways and means to move her isn't working.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who got the power?
Who has the power?
Who got the power?
The Attorney General, of course.
Okay.
The Attorney General and the President, of course.
Thank you for reminding me.
Some of them got the power to move them, and then when we walk in, them and getting the proper advice.
Okay.
The Attorney General, Basil Williams, it is being claimed that he's not doing a good job.
Hello? Yes? Hello?
I wonder why.
Hello?
They say he's losing too many cases, our Attorney General, Basil Williams.
Because he's busy, he got too lot of work to do.
What's that?
But he has about 4 advisors.
Yeah, how much advice?
4. Yeah. The present GCOM chairman was one of his advisors. Yeah. And I think he's no longer an advisor, but he's still got 3 or 4.
Yeah. Call your name. Hello?
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
No. Mr. Green, we heard a woman say that with the NBC, with the matter with Kendi Abrudem.
Yes.
Now, if an inquiry was done by the ombudsman and he found that the DPP misconduct herself, all he has to do is send the report to the Judicial Service Commission. The Judicial Service Commission. The Judicial Service Commission is a constitutional body too that can remove the DPP from office.
Yeah.
But the ombudsman is dead.
Found misconduct herself. And there was other matters that she didn't call inside. Nobody lodged any complaint with the Judicial Service Commission about her. The president cannot move her, the Attorney General cannot move her. The Judicial Service Commission is the only body that can remove her from office.
But
I also like to touch on Mr. Silal Prasad matter.
Yes.
I think Mr. Silal Prasad should resume duty.
Okay.
If Mr. Silal Prasad... Yes. If they allege that he misconduct himself with the president's matter, the constitutional body to remove him from office, the president must appoint a tribunal which will send the findings to the president, and based on that the president can remove him from office.
No, but it's not a
question. Any other attempt to remove him from office is
has he reached retirement age? Has he reached retirement age?
He will meet the retirement age at April.
April, yes.
The man should resume duty this month, work out his couple of morning, and finish with that.
Yeah, he could.
Do not try any other means.
Yeah, they'll probably put him on a desk like Dookie.
If you check, let me tell you something. Yes. If you look at Mr. Steele's achievement as commissioner, there are no other commissioner in East Guyana have achieved so much a breakthrough in crime fighting.
So much of what? When he was crime chief, what did he achieve? When he was crime chief, what did he achieve?
But when he assumed leadership of the police, there was tremendous breakthrough in crime fighting. And you cannot run away from that.
Where's the give an example of the breakthrough. Give an example of the breakthrough.
Because we all are friends.
Yes.
That's in that area. But when we look at the man, what the achievement as
new technology has been helping them. It's not a question of earning.
All those achievements is under Steele's Prasad.
It would have happened regardless.
And the man should resume duty and when it's time extension up, let him go.
Okay.
But Monica Reese, there had been no breakthrough up to that, up to now. Monica Reese murder.
Caller, you're near. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I want to find out one simple matter.
the crime fighting that you're speaking, that all of us are speaking and watching what is going on.
Yes.
You go by Stabrook Man and Pittsburgh, you turn him by Parliament Building.
Yes.
The police squad van for deal. They have some youngsters, what I don't feel, even have a motorcycle license. And when they're riding through the area, why is it the police cannot apprehend those men that's riding these motorcycles?
How do you know they got a license for riding motorcycle? How do you know that?
Get the relevant owner for it and prosecute them and the owner for it.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
You don't demark that, because I just be on the road just by McDonald Station and Cold Street. Okay. If you see the commotion where they drive with motorbikes, no helmet, nothing at all.
Yes.
Why they can't hold them and lock them up and get the owner for the cycle? Allowing them to go free will riding. And these are the same bikes they use in committing the crime.
Okay.
You watch a U.S. Embassy publish something in the paper today.
Yes.
Foreign U.S. citizen come to Guyana.
Yeah, exactly.
You believe that look nice?
Yeah.
It look nice to this country?
Okay. Yeah.
Huh?
No, like. But there should be cameras on the streets to pick up these things.
Commissioner, whoever, when Arden is ranked not to go after a motorcycle on the road.
Okay.
So they mean, it's the same people, they mean that the police are coming after we. We can use the motorcycle to commit the crime.
They need to look at the security cameras.
You don't have to look at the camera and they're riding in front of you. What you have to look in front of the camera for?
Because you'll be able to detect who
you're detecting on the day in front of your eyes. Are you wearing spectacles?
It's right in front of your eyes.
In front of you, they're riding.
In front of me, but I'm not the police.
What are you going to detect?
I've seen it happen, but I'm not the police.
And you see motorcycle people waiting now. What's the robbery in Alberton?
Some of them don't have license number plates. So what are you gonna do?
From the police, hold the motorcycle. What are you telling me, Mr. Frank?
Holding.
Okay then. Thank you very much. God, you're on the hello? You're on the hello? Yes.
It's a man, Goody man.
He doesn't want to call Goody steady. God, you're on the hello. We now go to
hello, good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, again.
Yes.
Coming back to Mr. Green, he mentioned that the coalition is strong, right? I want them to listen to WPA usually have a program, Walter Rodney Groundings, where they talk about what's going on in government and so on. When last Mr. Granger held a meeting with the coalition partners, right? So Mr. Green, don't come on national television and try to cover up things. The coalition is weak. The only coalition now that is hanging in is the AFC. And they're putting a lot of nonsense. Mr. Trackman.
Hello? I can't go what off. Are you for
credit run out?
Credit run out. Yes.
You understand?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I'm always enjoying this program.
Okay.
Why?
I want to comment on three things.
First, tell me why you enjoy the program. Tell me why.
Because of the analysis that goes on. Okay. It's very, very revealing.
Okay.
Happy New Year, Stan.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Yes. Now, firstly,
okay.
It will take the Judicial Service Commission to remove the DPP from office.
Yes.
I agree with Leon
yes.
that there seems to be a conflict of interest. And she's apparently protecting those persons who are charged. One of the things Mr. Setterton talked about is the reluctance of the bank that is involved in not submitting the information to SOKU.
Okay.
And what he says, that this can put the central bank in jeopardy.
Okay.
Because it is not consistent with what is expected of the money laundering situation. But what he says is that the DPP and the police legal advisor have their own views. But what the Attorney General has to do is to try to get appointed a special prosecutor who will converse himself with all that is expected.
Who you going to get a special prosecutor? Who you going to get here now?
No, well, they will have to go to Parliament and fix that.
Okay.
Right? So that is one thing.
Okay.
If they want those information.
You have anybody in line?
Pardon me?
You have anybody in line?
No. That's not my function.
Okay.
That's not my function.
Okay.
The special prosecutor does not have to be somebody who lives in Guyana.
Okay. That's a correct answer.
Yeah.
You know? Now, secondly, you're talking about Mr. Kamal Chan. You remember in the previous administration, the sugar workers were paying credit union dues, and that was not remitted to the credit union. They were paying NIS
billions of dollars.
that were not remitted to the NIS. They were paying PAYE, and those were not remitted to the PAYE. And there was no sound from GAU. But the 30 million per month that they were getting, they were ensured that they were getting that. So those are some of the contradictions that we have to talk about when we're looking at what this government is encountering. And one has to wonder that if the noises, the chatter, and the demonstrations do not have a specific purpose of bringing this government down, and if it seems that that is the purpose of these demonstrations, well then I believe that the government has to counter that.
Okay.
So I want to keep congratulating this program. I miss my friend, Mr. Jaipal, because it seems to me that the panelists sometimes are not informed sufficiently so that they can give the kind of responses to these callers who are calling in. But these responses are broad. It means that you will have to read a little more, listen to the news a little more, so that you can put yourself in position to deal with these issues when they are raised.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Caller, you're near. Hello? Hello, caller, you're near.
Hi.
Yes.
Good afternoon, gentlemen all.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes, gentlemen all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You are speaking loud, I can't hear you.
Mr. Green, good afternoon,
yes.
my
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, man. I know you as a legion, a far-time legion. And all my view towards you is that I think you should have relaxed, man, and don't listen to these stupidness, man. Let the entire country know.
You can't relax, no. It's not time to relax.
I think that
no.
important of being there, man. You far more advanced, man. Teach these people about the word you always mentioned, melange. I don't know, you mentioned that about 25 years ago, melange. Is that you have to mix the race. The people are supposed to mix and come together and be strong and firm.
Okay.
And you had mentioned that the late President Bonham had mentioned about Douglas. What you got to do with Douglas? Well, he had mentioned also his police crab and black people is dark. We're raised to go make. Go ahead, my boy.
Thank you very much. Want to respond?
Well, when they put me in that box, that's time to relax.
Yes,
all the world, all the time in the world.
Yes, that's true.
Good answer.
Call in here, and you're on here. Hey, hello.
finally government.
Hello?
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 Yes? You can lower your volume down, please. Lower your volume down. Yes.
And you're looking very good.
Yes.
I remember you were Prime Minister.
Please lower your volume down.
Yes. I remember you were Prime Minister when GTC was sold. Do you think it's fair that since that place has been sold, the ex-workers are fighting for their rightful pension and they can't get it anymore? They can't get it up to now. Glad.
The
you
government
heard about all those from the bank?
The government through the president has made it very clear in a public broadcast 2 days ago that the workers will get their pension. They've agreed on the figures. They get half of it before the end of the month, and during the course of the year, they get a balance. The sums are quite substantial, and the government has had to dig into other funds based on the budget for 2018 so that they can pay the sugar workers. It seemed to me the sugar workers are doing very well, and in spite of the changes, they have come off best in this whole thing.
I think
remember, you have a situation where the government, for years, had been putting in billions of dollars every year to keep the sugar industry going. Nobody runs a business that is losing. That's not business, that's madness.
Mr. Green, I'm not talking about the sugar workers.
What are you talking about?
About GTC. Guyana Telephone.
Oh, I didn't hear that, sorry.
Yes. You were Prime Minister when that place was sold.
Yes.
Right? Up to now, the ex-workers cannot get a pension rectified.
Okay.
It is sickening, Mr. Green.
Well, if that is so, doesn't matter. There's a union, they should bring the matter up.
Yes. The matter came up many times. GTC, the money that was earned from GTC used to pay public servants. GTC, they had to sell anything for us to get foreign exchange. As soon as the calls were exchanged with AT&T, the money was sent to us. It is not right.
So what are you trying to say?
If the workers aren't being denied, first of all, they can go to the ombudsman, but there's a union, and I don't believe that the union is that weak. I was at a ceremony, I think in November, where Minister Kathy Hughes addressed the telephone and telecoms workers union. And I don't know they recall this as an issue. And the officials are quite articulate. So I'm surprised to hear this.
The union has been working at that thing daily and we're not getting results. That is the point I'm making.
But what I'm saying, I attend the annual conference and I don't recall them raising this issue.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, seeing that you are the ex-prime minister, you must have known something, and I'm asking if you could do something to assist those ex-workers. Secondly, you know, we need a legal body in this country so that all industrial matters must be sent to that body and must be rectified within 6 months. Because that there is an absence of that body, you find those expatriates, they are using the court for every industrial matter with the workers, because they know to themselves that those matters take years, and before the matters been solved, people die. So we need that body urgently. If we had that body, Mr. Arjun and the rest would not have found themselves in that difficulty. Those matters would have been solved. So who are listening, it's a good recommendation.
Okay. And thank you very much.
Before I finish.
Yes.
Kindly, I'm kindly asking you, Mr. Green, as ex-Prime Minister, if you could see what can be done to resolve those ex-GTC workers who have done so much to this country to have the pension rectified.
Okay. But look, I'll tell you something.
Much. Have a good day.
During the week, if some group from those workers can meet with me, I'm prepared to speak on their behalf. That's what I'm here for. I am not aware of the problem, but need to bring the facts, the figures, so that we can raise it.
Okay.
I can raise it, first of all, with the management of GT&T and with the Ministry of Labor.
Colony, hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Your panel.
Yes.
New Year to everyone.
Yes.
Good I listened something concerning the police and arrest and so on. Every policeman under the laws of this country, from a constable to the commissioner, has the power to stop, search, and detain anyone.
That's right. That's true.
And not to arrest them,
not prosecute,
to stop them, the power to search them, and the power to detain them.
It doesn't
the
matter.
higher authorities will do what should be done to the person.
Yes.
So with that policeman, a lot of people talking what they don't know about the law. They must know the laws of Guyana and the powers of policemen from the constable to the commissioner.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I hope they are listening and they will learn something about the law.
They're listening now.
Well, they said Mr. Duki is on his annual leave now.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody say.
Hello?
Yes, you're here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes.
You need to remind these people that we do have coalition meeting last week, Thursday. The 4th was a coalition meeting, and you're not reminding these people.
Well, every cabinet is, in fact, a meeting of the coalition.
Yes,
because the cabinet consists of members from different parties.
And coalition meeting, he didn't remember that.
As far as I know, there are I'm not part of it. There are regular meetings, and that right now they're looking at amending the Constitution to make changes consistent with what some people believe is required. I have my own views in that matter. Coalition or no coalition, my personal view is, from my experience in every part of the world, you need to give the person who is head of state certain reserved powers and flexibility. Because if you don't do that, the very idea of super consultation can delay forward movement. And there's some issues, financial and social, that require some person, and that has to be the president, making the final decision after listening to everybody. We can't have a system where he's inhibited and his hands are tied. United States, England, you have those powers, particularly if there's a crisis. When the U.S. had a crisis, when after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, the president had to go back to Congress. He decided, I'm taking U.S. into war right away, and inform Congress. He didn't have to take a 3-month period. So that when you have a crisis, your head of state must be given that right to deal with issues in the interests of the society. Those are my views.
Call you in the hello?
Yeah, Sharma.
Yes.
Back in the days, you used to have a program whereby you used to invite the commissioners and senior officers of the force. You have the program.
That's right.
No, well, I think Mr. Silal Prasad, when he became commissioner, he didn't too like the idea.
They didn't like the program.
So that is
right. Here what will happen now, Mr. Sharma. Next week, let Mr. Green Sankey, Mr. Isa for invite Ramnarayan, Mr. Patterson.
I got no problem with that.
We should try.
I don't have no problem with that.
We'll have to try Mr. Ramnarayan now.
We have no problem with that.
Let's have to speed up and you have to start back the program. Because a lot of tradition is being complaining today.
There is a protocol. As far as I know, Mr. Sharma has always invited public officers to come to the program, but they need to get permission from the minister.
That's right.
And I don't think, from my knowledge, any minister will deny a senior officer the opportunity to come and talk inside of the story.
No, I know that Mr. Sharma.
I invited
he invited
the president of the country.
No,
all ministers of the government.
No, dealing with the police, and you had invited the police, and they were sent all the time. And when that last PRO, what's his name, who retired, and they were all here up to, I can remember, the guy who's now at Safai in charge, he came. The guy who's in charge of traffic, he was here. All of these guys were here. But then when Mr. Prasad, Silal Prasad became commissioner, he discontinued the whole thing.
You change it. So what I could do?
We could try again. We could try again.
Let the general public be the judge.
Don't give up. Keep trying.
Yes. Call in. Hello. Hello. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, man?
Good. Who is this?
Huh? Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Green, the call concern, December month concern this phone line in it.
Okay.
Well, like, when you try to get on because then the phone not working.
Okay.
In region 2.
Okay.
So,
Make your point.
Huh?
Make your point.
I said, I know if you could do something about it.
Okay.
So, you know what you could do, Mr. Green. You could do anything about it. You can't call in December month and nothing to do up to now.
TNT has a PR department. You need to call them and give them the examples, and I'm sure they will deal with it.
Okay. All right.
Call you, hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
Now, I want to get back to this Gaisuku affairs.
Yes. What?
Gaisuku.
Okay, Gaisuku, yes. Yes.
Now, who is Kamal Chan? A member of parliament for PP?
Yes.
Yes, a member of parliament, that's right.
I could remember Jagdio closed down 3 factories.
Yes.
Nobody was on the breadline.
Yes, that's true.
Now, we got a situation whereby Gaisuku bleed in this economy. In 43 months, $43 billion. Not even 43 cents in return. Why Kamal Chan and Jagdio didn't know when they closed down those factories, people were on the breadline. How only now Jagdio and Kamal Chan know people on the breadline?
Could you please name the place where they closed down? Name the place where they closed down.
Pardon?
Name the place where they closed down.
Jagdio closed down Diamond,
yes.
LVI.
Yes.
And Lenora.
Yes, and next one.
There is 3
Is there only 3?
I think
Albion was closed down?
No.
Edmore.
Yeah.
Now, how only now they know people on breadline? Okay. Look, the beach and you protesting over the river.
Yes.
The bottom people.
The bottom
Please
line.
lock you up.
Yes.
Where Kamal Chan been?
Yes.
The
How now you want?
And the trouble in the road got your feces inside.
Huh?
But they put it in the room, we got feces. Yeah. And you
Look, what I think this government should do?
Yeah.
To hell with them and do what they're supposed to do. Right?
Yes.
And start jailing these people.
Okay.
I think we have a president who's been extremely decent. Some of us feel too decent in dealing with these matters, but I suppose as president he's had to take all sides into consideration. As he says, he maintained an interest in the sugar workers. I don't think the sugar workers have any need to complain. The president and the cabinet, they've been tolerant, they've been kind, they've taken account of the fact that everybody's been contributing to the Gaisuku. And remember, I attended a function at the Pegasus Hotel when Jagdio made a big speech about Skeldon, what a fantastic change is going to take place. Millions went down the line. Nobody said anything. And I spoke to the manager at the time, and he tried to rationalize Jagdio's statement by saying, oh, they're going to come on stream soon. Facts have shown the whole thing was a disaster from the very beginning. The whole structure was bad. The design was bad. And I don't want to say perhaps there was some corruption.
But Green, let me tell you something. There's an old saying, you know, if you don't send your child in the shop, he can't thief your change, you know. So I see all those doings. What avenue to thief the money?
Yes.
So it's time these people start seeing Camp Street even though it's burned down. That's all I got to say.
Mr. Green, you can recall when the protests in Wales, they threw him in the lock-up and threw feces in the room and urine in the room.
I remember.
Yes. I just want people to remind that. Karin, hello? We only got 3 months more to go here.
Hello, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
That caller called just now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That was president for 12 years, right?
Yes.
Leno is fit close down for 25 to 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Diamond is sit almost close to 20 years. That's a jackass.
What are you really saying? What
he
is
says
he?
he's a jackass.
Who's the jackass?
The man who called him.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the station.
Yeah, that's
everybody can say what they want.
That's right. Call you on the hello? Hello?
Oh, good afternoon.
Yeah, he's at Nescom. Come and kick it good now. Hello? Call you on the hello?
Hi, Mr. Sam.
You change your voice. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, concerning Mr. Coleman, son.
Yes.
If we are to look back in histories and what we are talking about when it comes to the sugar industry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like I said, if you're working in an industry and you have a company.
Yeah.
And you're taking a union, the union is there to represent you. It's like when your boss call you, tell you that, you know what happened?
Okay.
As you come in late very often, you get knocked off.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they're representing you as on a percentage because you will end up now get back your work because they go discuss.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
But take a look at it.
Yes.
Mr. Komal-chan is representing thousands and thousands of Guyanese. Every time that the sugar industry try to hold a strike, well, I won't blame it on Indian and wherever. Okay. Once they know that you're striking the day, they go party, they go drink, and then go into work.
Yes.
It's not nobody to be blamed. It's not the factory to be blamed. It's not Daisuku to be blamed because half of them are being retrenched and they're getting. It's not the government to be blamed.
What guys should do that?
They are themselves.
What guys should do that this money?
Is the one to be blamed because he is the one who's encouraging them not to go to work. If for me, you have a television station and you have 3 staff that don't want to come to work every day, you think your work would go on? No, it would not.
What the
you
guys
feel in the pressure because why?
Do now this money?
Some of the program you have to cut. Because remember, none of them don't care if they come to work or not. You feel in heat because you got ads to do. You got this one program to take care of and that. But that's what they don't understand.
Okay.
They don't blame the government, don't blame the industry for themselves. They blame themselves because all of them who drinking rum and going out like they're stupid is Coleman-chan, who the one who cast all this thing what happened to them.
I agree with you on that.
And Mr. Coleman-chan sit down with the big fat check we get in and down in Parliament. You ever watch him when he start out there, both sides of him out?
Yes.
He talking share prop.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's share prop he talking.
Okay.
Mr. Green know what I'm talking about. All you do is run him out.
Okay.
Because he there home with the big fat check on the fancy house.
Yes.
The fancy flushing toilet. You ever see where Bobby's people live?
Yes.
Latrine nigga.
Okay.
Latrine.
You understand? All the big man call all the concern about the tree industry who closed down.
Yes.
He don't know the exact tree. I vex with the other man will call and tell you what was closed down, what closed down.
Yes.
But Diamond Estate wasn't their fault.
Yes.
Now nobody, it had to close down because it wasn't making no progress and nobody didn't think. My father used to work there.
Okay.
Right? I'm 43 years of age.
Yes.
And my father used to work there.
Okay.
So I didn't mind when the industry closed down because they making no sense. You understand?
Thank you very much.
I'm happy that he's super sad now as private sector now taking over the sugar industry. We're going to become one of the biggest sugar industry in this country.
Okay.
And
Thank you very much.
I am proud to he and I wave my hand to him. I give him all hands up in head.
Okay.
Please, God bless him. I don't want him to die. I want him to go ahead because Guyanese got live
None of us
happy life with Mr. Green.
None of us don't want to die. None of us don't want to die.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't want him to die now. You get old, you know, and the people always say when you get old, you go there just now. No, he never dead now. I want him to live 200.
None of us in our can don't want to die. Rasa, what's some of your closing remarks?
Oh, well, happy birthday to all those who are celebrating birthdays today, including Queen Michelle from Lang Avenue.
Yesterday was Rashi Jackson's birthday.
Today? Yeah.
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, the 12th.
Yesterday.
The 12th.
Yeah, it's a good day for January-born people. Anyway, I also want to extend an invitation to the IDPAD Summit, the International Decade for People of African Descent Summit 2018. Will be held on March 8th to the 18th at the Marriott Hotel in Guyana under the theme, Where We Are, Where We Ought to Be, and how do we get there by 2024 and beyond. What's that?
Who's sponsoring it?
It's organized by the IDPAD Summit Committee in Guyana and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Guyana. The summit is expected to attract skilled experts in the fields of business, health, education, ICT, engineering, geopolitics, African culture, and human rights. Okay. The summit hopes to achieve the objectives set out by the United Nations for the decade by bringing experts from Africa and the diaspora together to tackle the issues faced by Africans and African descendants and build institutions to address these issues throughout the remaining of the decade and beyond. You know, Gopio just had the conference, so we get to your own just now. Influential African leaders, including heads of states, will be in attendance. Thus, the summit will have strict security obligations and requires advanced registration. Registration will be open until February 1st, 2020.
Thank you very much, Raz.
So, and I joined with former Prime Minister there, asking for judicial redress. The cases are still taking too long a time. I know they're aware of the problem, but not enough has been done to solve the problem. I think this guy who came back from England, the advisor, he said too that
Sherlock Holmes.
They have a stenographer. Why did she got to be writing? Why the judges got to be writing all the time? You should have a stenographer. In the old days, we had people with shorthand, you know, who would do this thing. And besides that, I see the town clerk. The other issue is the town clerk want to have a public consultation. We already spoke last week about this garbage situation. We need to let the garbage companies do the collection, right? Not you know, and they deduct that money from the amount they work out an estimate of how many barrels will be out. You know, they could go along and somebody from City Council in the finance division could go along and work out an estimate so they can deduct what they collect from the overall payment.
Mr. Green, closing remarks.
My closing remarks, let's start a campaign, a crusade for justice. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice for all. And I think we should emancipate the concept you talked about years ago. Justice for all. On the City Hall, remember, since 1994, the IMC recognized the city is not collecting enough revenue to do its work. And the time has come for the government, citizens, and the council to sit down in caucus and decide the way forward. You cannot manage a city with a present tax basis. That's the bottom line.
Green, thank you for coming.
Anytime.
Razat, thank you for coming.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
And the word is also unite. Unite for the betterment of Guyana.
God bless you. Thank you for much.
One love.
One love.